Very simple. The only one thing which is between your thought and your action is called planning. Nothing else. Between your thought, your idea, your dream, your goal, and your action, there's only one thing left, and that's called planning. And when I say planning, it's 80% planning, 20% action. You got me? So 80% you must be well planned. It's a part of the action. 80% you must be well planned, otherwise you're going to lose money, you're going to lose your time, you're going to lose your people, everything if you don't plan well. So you must be having team. For example, if it's a big project, then you must be having team players along with you to plan. If you are expert, you have to bring experts in areas where you're not an expert, and then you have to execute it. For example, if you are the president of a company, or even if you're the president of a country or a state, you won't be knowing everything. Therefore, you need to have very strong team with you. And you sit along with the team and come discussions, mind masteries and mind mapping and masterminding. Then you come up with a plan. And then you execute the plan, whereby sometimes it could be your team members, or it could be the citizens of the country which can be affected if it's a wrong decision. Do you agree to that, Karthik? If you are the minister of a state, and if you take the wrong decision, who's going to suffer? The citizens of that state is going to suffer. Am I right? Do you agree? Yeah.
Yes,
the same thing happens in an organization. If you come up with a wrong decision, who's going to suffer? It's the teammates, your team members are going to suffer. So therefore, you must give more time to planning, so that there is no error. There might be smaller error. However, if there's any error, you have to mitigate those error. You have to get rid of those error before you come to a decision to take action. How many of you got me? Just show your hands, please. If you're behind the camera, just show me a thumbs up. So you have to make sure that 80% of the time is only planning. Once you know that it's okay, it's good to go now, then you take action. When you take action, there are 4 things you have to remember. When you take action, there are 4 things to remember. Number 1, you have to be a massive action taker. It's not slow and steady. No, you have to take massive action. That's number 1. Number 2, you must be a PAT. What do you mean by PAT? You must be a proactive action taker. You must see things before others can see. If you are into business, you must be able to see the profitability of the business or the scope of the business. Even if it's an uncertainty happening in the world, for example, you should be able to forecast and see things by learning and by researching the trend that's happening around the world. So you must be a fast action taker, FAT. You must be a massive action taker, which is MAT. You must be a proactive action taker, which is PAT. And then it is CAT, which means continuous action taker. So MAT, CAT, FAT, and PAT. If you apply this when it comes to action, I'll tell you, nobody can stop you, because you have done all your research. You have done everything during the planning period. Okay, there are 7 stages that you have to go if you want to transform your life from where you are to where you want to be. There are 7 stages that you have to go, and one of the stages that I'm talking right now is the action part, and before the action comes the planning part. Planning is number 4, action is number 5. Did I answer your question?
Yes, Sensei. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karthik. Very simple. When you say pain, in other words, people call it as a problem. I don't like to be called as a problem. What's the difference between a problem? A problem, when you say I have a problem, the problem becomes bigger than your mindset. When you say I have a problem, then the problem becomes bigger, because now you're feeding the problem. At the same time, if you say that I have a challenge, now you're ready to fight, you're ready to face it, you're ready to conquer it. Let's take an example. Let's take a mountaineer who's standing on the base of the mountain, or what you call as the base camp. Let's say Tenzin and Hillary, who conquered the Himalayas or the Everest. They didn't stand below on the base camp and said that is a problem. Did they say that? No. They said that it's a challenge and we are going to conquer you. 1951, 1952, and I think it was 1953, they were able to conquer the Himalayas. Why? Because they considered that to be a challenge, not as a problem. Similarly, when you are you are in a race, if you're an athlete or if you are into sports, you don't say that the other team is a problem. You say that the other team is a challenge. They're better than us, but for sure we are going to do the best of the best so that we become the winners and we become the champions. The same applies if it's a pole vault or if it's a high jump. It's not a problem, it's a challenge. So how can you take the pain and convert it into a challenge? It's only a mindset. Now, I'll give one more example. Let's say there is a wall right in front of you, and let's give it a number like 5. The height of the wall is 5. It's just a number. It's not in centimeters or millimeters or in meters. It's just a number 5. Now, for an ant, let me give a number for the ant, or a worm. If I give a number 0 for that worm, the worm will look at the wall, which is 5, and say, this is too big. It's a big problem for me because it has to climb all the way to number 5 and then cross the wall. Let's take another example. Let's say that there's a monkey now, and the monkey has also got a number, which is 5. And for the monkey, the wall, which is also 5, and the monkey is also 5, the wall is not a problem. It's not a pain. It has to just take a jump. And as soon as the monkey jumps, it comes on the wall. So there's no issue at all for the monkey. Now let's take the third example. The third example is an eagle. An eagle, let's give it a number 12. And when the eagle has a number 12, and the wall is still at 5, the eagle looks from the sky at the wall and say, I don't see any wall. I don't see any problem. Did you get me? The same thing happens when the lower staff of your company, since you are a bank manager, the lower staff of your company, if he comes up with a file, he would look at the file and tell, this is a big problem. He'll go to the manager will look the same file and say, it can be solved. It's a problem, but we can solve. Now the manager take the same file to the senior management team, and the senior management or the CEO, and the CEO looks at the same file and say, I don't see a problem. The problem was the same. The challenge was the same. The pain was the same. However, how did you look the problem, or how did you look the challenge, or how did you look the pain? You speak in that language. For the lower staff, it was a big problem. For the manager, it's a problem but can be solved. And for the CEO, there is no problem at all. So a problem is a problem when you make it as a problem. You're with me? So there is no problem. There are only challenges. When you say that this is a challenge rather than a problem, automatically your mindset starts to change. It starts to look possibilities, and you'll see the other side. Now, what do you mean by other side? When I say other side, there are 4 O's that you have to remember. There are 4 O's that you have to remember. I want everyone to go and type the letter O in the chat. The first O stands for obstacles. There are always obstacles. There could be obstacles in our life. There could be a lot of obstacles in our lives. So if there is an obstacle, then you have to sit, relax, and ask yourself, what are the options that I have to cross, to overcome, to conquer those objections or obstacles? You're looking for options, not option, but options. You're looking for various options so that you can overcome that obstacle. Now, once you get different options, you choose one which is the best. And once you choose that one, and once you overcome that obstacle, now you'll find opportunities. You'll find different opportunities which you have never ever believed in earlier. And once you get opportunities and you work on one of those opportunities, now you get a different outcome. So the first O is obstacle. The second O is options. The third O is opportunities, and the fourth O is a new outcome. So when you see a block, when you see an obstacle, when you see an objection, you have to ask yourself, what's the option? When you take an option, you have an opportunity. When you take the opportunity, it would be a new outcome. The new outcome could be a new profession maybe for you. It could be a new career for you. It could be a new transfer for you. It could be a journey for you. It could be a lot of things which is waiting for you. So don't consider an obstacle as a problem. Always consider that to be a chance for you to grow and excel. Or in other words, it's an opportunity for you. Did I answer your question?
Yes, Sensei.
Thank you very much, Karthik.
Hi, Sensei. Hope you are doing good.
I'm doing absolutely fine. Thank you very much for asking.
Yeah. What are the factors to consider to master a foreign language?
What are the, once again, if you could repeat the question?
What are the factors to consider to master a foreign language?
The master foreign. You're asking the question to the wrong person. Okay, you're asking the question to a wrong person, because I'm doing my best to learn one language, which is a mandatory language for me for more than 40. I think it's more than 40 years now. I was not able to do that. So
Okay.
so I'm not the right person to answer this question. I think there would be some language experts, and it also depends upon how passionate you are. Okay, so this is from my knowledge I'm giving you. It depends upon how passionate you are, number one. Number two, if you have the drive, whether it is to learn English, to speak English, to have a conversation with others in English, or to develop your vocabulary or your accent and so forth, then number one, you must be having the drive. You must be having the motivation, what you call a self-motivation, and then you must be having the right stuff. Okay, the right stuff is the right way to do it. Now, don't look for perfection. Don't look for perfection, because if you're looking for perfection in grammatical errors and so forth, you will never grow. So for me, in my case, if I speak English, my English is very simple. I don't use a lot of vocabularies or strong vocabularies, or I don't use many of those things. Why? Because I want to speak in such a way which is very neutral and people can understand that. So my intention is not to show off myself, my English or my language skill and so forth. My intention is to ensure that the other party, the other person, whether it is my students, whether it is my trainees, whether it is my staff members, whoever is listening to me, they must be able to understand, break it down, and decode what I'm saying. Okay, decode. Okay, whenever I'm saying something, that is coded language, but they must be able to decode it. So what I'm speaking is a coded language. I understand the meaning, but you don't understand the meaning until otherwise you decode it. So for me, a language, I speak 4 languages though, but for me, I make sure that when I speak in English or in my local language, they should be able to understand. So number one, you must be having the passion, you must be having the drive, you must be with the community of people who are also interested to learn the language that you are planning to learn. Okay, so if you have a community or if you've got a tribe, then they're going to support and help you, and they're going to be an accountability partner for you, and that's going to help. Then a teacher, then you're looking for a tutor or a teacher or a mentor or a guide or a coach who can help you in your language. Now, that coach should be someone who can again break it down in such a way that you can understand that. Why? Because there could be different people, and the capacity of understanding a language or understanding a subject would be different. For example, while in school, our math teacher teaches the same way, and the person who is in the front bench, he will understand, and people like me who are in the back benches, we don't understand anything. Even now, I don't understand anything. Why? Because my capacity of understanding mathematics or science or anything, I was the backbencher. I was not able to understand anything. Got me? So our capacity is different. So number one, you have to have the passion for whatever language you're looking for. Again, it also depends upon the age factor. Because if you're young, then it's much more easier for you to grasp the words, and then you can do it. Secondly, so age is a major factor. Secondly, is that you should be not only in the community of people online, you should be able to practice whatever you're learning. So you must be among the people outside in local, where you can have a conversation, where you can where you can make mistakes, where you have you have a strong skin to ask somebody who is a native speaker, whether it is Chinese or Japanese or English, whatever language you're planning to learn. You must be having the guts to ask them, sir, is this the right way of speaking? Is this the right terminology? Or if you did not understand what they say, then you have to stop and ask them, could you just break it down for me? Could you just explain what does that mean? And if you have that tendency of asking the question of what did you say, so that I can understand that will help you to grow and excel in your life, so that you don't make the mistake again. So I'm not the right person when it comes to language. However, this is something that I just gave from a general perspective. I hope that that will help you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you very much. Very simple. Very simple. See, there is a technique for everything. There is a technique for everything. So the first thing is to identify the area that you want to improve. Okay, identify the area that you have to improve. There are 7 questions you need to ask always. Number 1, what is that you want to achieve? That's the very first question. The second question is, where am I right now? What is my current situation or position? You must be able to identify that. Number 3, you need to ask yourself, what is that I need to improve? Number 4 is you need to ask, what is that I need to learn? Number 5, what is that I need to change? Number 6, what is that I need to stop? And number 7, who can help me? 7 golden rules that I have created. I ask all my students to follow these golden rules. Now, when it comes to your case, Karthik, you know that you have to communicate something to your senior management. And you also understand, so that means your goal is clear. This is what I want to communicate. However, when it comes to step number 2, you have identified that you are not able to talk, or you're not able to exchange all the points that you are supposed to do. Am I right? So the third question you need to ask yourself is, what is that I need to improve? Since you have identified the areas that you need to improve, the next question is, how can you improve? So there are different ways. One of the technique that I would say is, if you're going for a meeting, if you want to share something with your senior management, make a note, make a bullet point. You just write down the key points that you want to exchange or talk with your senior management, and then you just elaborate that. Don't read. Just don't go and read, because that does not show you as a professional. However, you can have the bullet points be there and talk straight on to your senior management. The second thing that you have to also remember is that when you're talking to your management team, your senior management team, it's a conversation that you're having there. Now, for example, right now, you are somewhere in the world and I'm talking to you. This is not a speech, but I'm having a conversation whereby I'm getting your feedback as well. Similarly, when it's a meeting and so forth, if you want to explain something, take it as a conversation level and then talk to. Okay, not like a speech. You talk to have a conversation, and then you share whatever points you want to share with your senior management, and they will understand that, number one, and they will be more inclined with you, and then there's a congruency between what you say and what they take. So that's how you have to simplify the way that you are exchanging the points with your senior management. It becomes very, very easy. Did I answer your question, Karthik?
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you. There are 2 things that I'm going to speak here. Okay, number 1 is about law of attraction. LOA, what they call as law of attraction. The law of attraction became very, very popular after the movie that was released, which is called The Secrets. So people started to know about what to do. However, it's always to think about what you want in advance, as if you have already got it. So that is why, if you are attending my session, there is an affirmation, 6 affirmation you have to say every single day. That is, you are a dominator, you are a peak performer, you are a finisher, you are a leader, you are a money magnet, you are a happiness magnet, and so forth. Am I right? Why you are saying that you are? Maybe you're not a leader yet. However, you are saying that you are a leader. And if you have attended my session yesterday, I took something which is called the circle of excellence. Circle of excellence is how I can take you to a place where you feel that you are already there. So law of attraction is being very 100% positive about what the thing that you want to achieve. You're seeing that as if it is achieved right now, and you're believing in that. That is called the law of attraction. Does it work? It depends upon how much you believe in your stuff. If you don't believe 1%, okay, 99% you believe and 1% you have this sort of hesitation, they say that you will not be able to attract it. So in my case, whenever I want something, if I want to achieve something, then I see that 100%. For example, traveling to many countries, conducting training program in different countries, being the national karate champion of India. There are a lot of things in my life which I started to manifest, which I started to visualize, which I started to attract, and which I started to believe that it's happening right now. During those days, let me tell you very clearly, I didn't have any clue about law of attraction. I didn't have any clue about it, but I had a faith in me that I can do it. So I gave my 100% and I got it. So that is number one. Now, I don't want to talk about religion in our what they call in our group. However, let me just give you one answer. It doesn't matter whether you believe in God, you don't believe in God. Everything needs action. Everything needs action. God never said anywhere that you can get anything that you want without action. Am I right? It doesn't matter who you are. Action is key. Action is key. Even if it's law of attraction, if you just think about, okay, I'm going to become a millionaire. Show me a millionaire in the world who became a millionaire without taking action. You'll find lottery winners. I have studied about lottery winners. I have conducted training program based on lottery winners. And let me challenge you, lottery winners, whoever has got $1 million, 300, 400, 500 million dollars, they have lost all the money. Because why? Because they did not plan it. Because there are three stages. Number one is thought. Number two is planning, and number three is action. If these three things does not come properly, and by luck you got millions of dollars, those millions of dollars, whatever you got, you're going to lose it. The same thing applies. Even if you are taking part in a program which used to be in the UK, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, it also came Kaun Banega Crorepati with Amitabh Bachchan. Even the winner who got 1 crore Indian rupee, he does not have the money today. It all depends upon your mindset. Do you understand that? It all depends upon your mindset, how you see things, how you manifest things, and how you plan the money. The money may come to you accidentally. Now it's your job to ensure that you have planned the money, how you have to manage the money so that you can take it to the next level and so forth. So going back, law of attraction, does it work? It works only for those people. It works only for those people who 100% believe that they can achieve it, and then they take action. If you don't take action, you're not going to achieve it. If you're not going to believe, then again, you're not going to achieve it. There is no law of attraction. It's going to work without action. Let me tell you, let's make it very simple. Law of attraction doesn't say that you must be lazy. Law of attraction says that you must take action, but before you take action, then you have to believe it. If anybody in this world believes and takes action, he's going to succeed. It doesn't matter whatever it is. If he believes 100%, for example, Muhammad Ali, before he became the champion, he used to say that I am the champion before he became the champion. Remember that. Before he became the champion, he used to say that I'm a champion. He became the champion. Why? Because he believed in it and he started taking action. In 1987, when I became the national karate champion of India, even before that, I used to tell to myself, I didn't know anything about law of attraction, but even before I became a champion in 1987, national champion, I was telling to myself that I'm the champion. Did you get that? I was telling to myself that I'm the champion. I used to introduce myself, I'm the karate champion. Before I became the champion on the 1st of November 1987, I used to introduce myself as a champion. Now that is called law of attraction, but I didn't have any clue at that time about law of attraction. Right. So now you have to ask yourself, what are the steps you have to take or you have taken to become that person? That's called reverse engineering. Okay, if you have made a company with more than 50 people, you're an international company, you conduct training programs around the world, you travel a lot, you become a very busy person. So now you have to reverse engineer by looking back and asking yourself, what are the steps that I have taken in order to become the person that I want to be? You're with me? What are the persons? So let's say that you want to become the person within 5 years' time. So ask yourself, when I was 4 years from today, what did I do? Then you ask yourself, 3 years down the line, what should I do? And what did I do? 2 years down the line, what did I do? And 1 year down the line, what did I do? If you are able to define what was done in order to become the person that you are, it becomes very easy for you. So let me start. If you're here, you are dreaming to become here. The timeline from here to here is around about 5 years. You first must be able to see this, visualize this. You call it law of attraction, whatever it is. You must be able to visualize this. You must be able to manifest this and believe that you are here now, not in the future. Right now you are here. You must get into the body of the person who you admire, who is already there in that position. Let's say you want to become like Tony Robbins. So you get into the body of Tony Robbins. You see like Tony Robbins. You feel as if you're tall like Tony Robbins. You speak and you have the energy like Tony Robbins. Now you get back. That's called the anchoring. I spoke about anchoring yesterday. So now you ask yourself, how did me, that is me as Tony Robbins, okay, you become the Tony Robbins as I mentioned, how did you get here? You write down the steps, okay. By 4 years I would have reached here, by 3 years I would have reached here, by the second year I would have reached here, and the first year I would have reached here. Now you start developing the steps. So first you're here, you see here, you look back, and then you apply the steps this way. It's back and forth. Did you get me?
Yes.
So if you are able to apply that, this is the strategy that you have to apply, and this is the strategy that I apply in my life as well. So if you are able to apply that strategy in any area, any dimension of your life, any vertical of your life, any area, any niche, I'll tell you, you'll be able to achieve that. So number one, start with end in mind. Number two, be in the place where you want to be. Ask yourself, how did you reach there? Come back to ground zero, and then you start working step by step. You break it down into, or you chunk it down into milestones, and you will be able to achieve that. Did I answer your question, Jafar Ali?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Sensei.
Hello.
I would like to ask, while before starting a business, what are the things that we should be knowledgeable of?
What do you think? Is that Afra, am I right?
Yeah.
Afra, you tell me, if you are starting a business, what is the first thing that you will be thinking about?
Actually, I asked this question. I'm not the one who's going to start a business.
It doesn't matter. If you are about to start a business, maybe you're asking this question for somebody else. However, let me just change the plate. And if I ask you, Afra, if you were the one to start a business, what is the first thing that you look for?
I look for some money.
You look for money. What is the second thing that you look for?
I look for good field of business.
Okay. Good field of business, good area of business. Okay. Number three.
I'll see a place to start the business.
Okay. Number four.
Number four, I'll make myself better to learn new things, to how to make that business continue with that freshness.
Okay. Number five, the last question. Number five.
Number five, I'll search for good peoples, trustworthy peoples to help.
To help you. Okay. Now, Afra, let me tell you the truth. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to break up the truth. The truth is, whatever you said right now, you should not do.
Okay.
Don't do that. That's the biggest mistake you will do, what you mentioned right now, and you will end up in financially breaking down, wasting your time, your energy, your money, your friendship, everything. And this is the thing what majority of the people would do, just like what you mentioned right now. That's not how you start a business. If you have to start a business, it starts with the letter P. The first letter P stands for the pain in the marketplace. You must be able to identify, do your research to find out what is the pain in the marketplace. Your business should be a solution to a problem or a pain in the marketplace. Otherwise, whatever business you do, it's not going to help. You're with me? So you have to see the pain. If there is a pain, people will come and pay you. Now, let me give you an example. There are two things that you have to focus on. One is called the pain. The other one is called the pleasure. Okay, the pain and the pleasure. Now, I'll give you an example. Let's say that you are in an industry. Okay, let's say that you are in an industry where you are selling lights, lamps, okay, the house lamps. Now, a customer comes to you and you say that, sir, we got this lamp, which is 1,000 rupees, and here we got a lamp, which is 50,000 rupees. Now, the person will buy based on his budget. Is it correct? Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, that all depends upon why, because he's looking there is no pain in it. Okay, I can go for this 1,000 rupees bulb or the lamp, and I can also go for 50,000 based on my requirement. Let's take another example. Let's say that you are a doctor. You're a doctor, and now a patient comes in. He does not have any money with him. He's completely broke. And he is the bread earner in the family. He comes to you and you do some sort of test on him and say that you have to go for a surgery immediately. Otherwise, there could be a blockade or whatever it is. So therefore, you have to go for a surgery immediately. Now, that person, whether he has got money, he has not got money, he will make money to pay you the money so that he is away from the pain. How many of you got it? If you got it, just raise your hands, please. Did you get that, Afra?
Yeah.
Why? Because now that person, whether he is poor, whether he is rich, he will find money. Otherwise, his kids will find money for him if he has got a good family in order to pay for the medication and the operation, so forth, so that he can get rid of the pain. He does not have to face the pain and he can live longer. Similarly, whenever you start a business, ask yourself, is this a pain in the marketplace? Or people will come and buy your product only for the pleasure part? If you have a product which talks about the pain, people will definitely come to you. If you have a product which has something to do with pleasure, people may or may not come to you based on their income. You're with me?
Yeah.
Based on the income. And they have got options. They can come to you, they can go to somebody else. That's the most important thing. The second one is once you have identified the pain, number two, you have to identify the right prospect for you. The right prospect is the right people for you. What income bracket are you looking for? Is your product for high-end ticket, where the price for your course or your product or your service is around about 1 lakh Indian rupees or 50,000 Indian rupees? So in that case, you are targeting people who can afford that. Or is your product something which people can buy only for 200 rupees? So the first one is the pain. You have to identify the pain in the marketplace. Number two is to identify the right perspective or who are the potential clients or customers for your business. And then after that comes the people. Who's going to work with you? Only after that comes the product and the place and the promotion. Everything comes after that. The most important thing before you start any business in the world is to identify, is there a need, is there a pain for that product that you're coming up with in the marketplace, and come up with a solution. That's how you start a business. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you very much. Now you can start a business, okay?
Sure.
Right. Any other question, please?
Actually, it's really difficult to find out the pain in the market. Also, it's also difficult to find people who are in pain. Mostly, people are unaware of their pain. They're living like just they feel like, okay, living like this way, it's okay, fine. But understanding the pain, the marketplace, it's a little bit difficult task, right? So how can we find it out?
I always say that 80% is preparation and 20% is action. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here the market research and everything that you're going to do must be 80%. That means you must spend more time and you must invest more time in the research part. Or if you've got a lot of money, then you can start a business, but definitely that's not going to reach the right customer, and you're going to make a lot of loss. Now, I'll give an example. I have got a lot of content with me. There are a lot of content that I love to talk about. If I create a video on that one, thinking that since I like it, the world is going to like, nobody's going to like it and nobody's going to take that. So therefore, I have to do a lot of research. I go to Google, I go to Amazon, I go to a lot of things and do a lot of research. So there are a lot of tools that I use to identify what is the trend in the marketplace, what is that people are looking for, and based on that, is that the demand is high, is the competition high, is the demand low, what is the price value for that, and based on that I come up with a video. So I spend more time on the research part than a video. For me, see, now I'm talking to you within this 1 hour time. Do you know how many videos I have taken? No, see, this all of videos that I'm doing right now is recorded. All this that I'm doing with you is recorded. I just have to cut it, edit it, and send it on to YouTube. That's it. So this is very easy for me, but the time that I spend more is on the research part. So if you want to get into business, if you want to be an entrepreneur, anyone can be a business owner. Anyone can be a business owner. If you have thousands of rupees, you can start a business. Am I right? If you got 1,000 rupees, you can start a business. There is no problem at all. There is no challenge at all. But the thing is that you will never become a business leader. A business leader is someone who really studies the marketplace, really studies about his customers. Then he comes up with a product, and then he is able to manage and lead his team members. This is called a business leader. If you're not a leader, I know many people in our group itself, this group itself, they have broken. They are broke, financially broke. I'm talking about crores and crores of Indian rupee. Why? It was mismanaged because they came up with products thinking that this is going to help them and going to take them to the next level, but they lost the money. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that I know personally. I know those who have lost crores and crores of Indian rupee. And at the same time, I also know people who have made crores of Indian rupee by doing the right strategy.
So how can we identify that right strategy? Just by preparation and observation?
Absolutely. You have to see if you're coming up with a product, you have to go and then ask whether what is the pain in the marketplace. Even if you are an author planning to write a book, you don't write a book simply. Nobody's going to buy your book. You go and write a book based on what is the pain in the marketplace, and then you write a book. I'll tell you that will become like overnight success. Why? Because you are addressing the pain in the marketplace. So if you want to come up, otherwise you can start a business. There's nothing wrong in starting a business. However, the thing is that what is the intention of starting the business? Is it like an NGO? Is it like a charity, something that you want to? Then you can start today itself. You don't require even a single penny for starting that. The question is, are you building a profitable, scalable business? Are you building a business that can survive, that is sustainable? Then you have to think properly. There are certain businesses which requires you to be there, and there are certain businesses which does not require you to be there.
Yeah.
For example, if I take my daughter's example, my daughter is a cake designer. Now, her business can't be scaled. Her business can't be scaled because it's all about individual craft work. She does everything herself. And she is trading her time. I say this is not how you do the business, but it's a passion. It's a passion to create cakes and design the cakes. So she takes time, maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Sometimes she does that early in the morning hours at 1 o'clock in the morning when we all are sleeping. Why? Because number one, she has got the passion. She has got the hunger. She's highly motivated, and she wants to see a change or a satisfaction in her customer's face. And that's why she does that. The question is, she can make only 1 cake one day, or maybe 2 cakes one day, or maximum 3 cakes one day, not more than that. Why? Because it's a business, but you can't scale the business. At the same time, if that same cake can be designed and done very much in a mechanical system, if there's a system, if it is automated, then she can make profit out of it. Is that correct?
Yes.
So if you're going to a business, you need to ask, number one, what is the purpose of the business? Why? Start everything with why. Why do I want this business? What is the purpose behind the business? What is my intention behind the business? Is it for making money? Is it for charity? Is it for bringing a smile on the other side to the customer's face? You ask yourself. And then you start a business. Just do not jump into a business without studying the market and the people that you're going to serve. As a business person or as an entrepreneur, you're not a seller. You are serving now. So to serve somebody, you need to have somebody to serve. Am I right?
Yes.
So ask yourself, that's the biggest question that you need to ask. Do you have somebody that you can cater your product? and then you start the business. Otherwise, no. Because I've gone through those things. Because I'm an entrepreneur. I know how I work, and my businesses are working profitably. Why? Because there's a proper strategy for what we do. I had to change the name of my company twice. My two companies, I had to change both the companies' name twice. Change the complete strategy. Change the people, the location, and everything had to be changed. Why? Because we were doing research, and we were able to identify that this has to be changed. So now let me tell you, until otherwise you don't know your right customer, your potential client or customer, then do not start a business.
Okay.
Yeah? I'll give you one more example since you asked me this question. In 2001, I came to India from the UK, and I was about to start something. I was about to start a British Hours school in India. At that was a time somebody came and introduced me to something called the network marketing. Okay, it's called the network marketing or something like that. So network marketing, there was a product. I don't want to tell the name of the product, and they also gave me the product. And I attended their meeting, couple of meetings, and I liked the way that they were promoting the product, and it was a high level product. So I started, I'm a guy who thinks over and above. So I started thinking and asked myself, why don't I start the same system or with a product? And since I come from the aviation industry and travel and tourism, I said, okay, my product would be travel and tourism, where people can travel around the world and go to different countries. And there would be a system where the product is an international trip, and I would be making money through the same. It's not a pyramid system, just like the downlines and so forth. I appointed people to design my brochure. I appointed somebody in Canada to take care of the trip for my clients. I found out a bank in Seychelles, which is an island, which is a very expensive island, where you can start your company, you can register your company without any taxation. So I did all those things, and then what I did is I started studying about network marketing in a university in Washington. I started studying about it. I didn't jump into it. I invested, and people started working on the background. At the same time, I was doing my studies to understand what is network marketing and so forth. After around about 2 months of studies, I came to realize that network marketing, there is nothing wrong in network marketing for people who can do network marketing. But not for me. Because once somebody buys a product from me, then I become responsible, I become accountable, because that person has already given me X number of amount of rupees or dollars. Now for him to get that dollar, he has to find out somebody else. Then they have to find out somebody else. Then they have to find out somebody else. So if I get into that sort of business, I don't blame. I'm talking about me, Farookh Sensei. I was not the right person to get into it, because if I get into it, there is somebody who has not received his money. So I said, this business is not for me. I stopped the production of my company. I stopped the designing part of it, the travel agency part of it, and the software. There was a team, software engineers who were working on that. I stopped the entire thing. I lost money, but I was very happy, because I was not owing even a single penny, because I'm very strict when it comes to money. I'm not owing any single penny to anyone, because I was happy, because I didn't have any money in the pocket of somebody else. Though I lost money, but the thing is that always remember, if you lose money by doing a mistake or whatever it is, you have learned something. That was a great lesson for me even today, and I'm very proud that I didn't start the business. You got me, Afra? I didn't start the business, and that was my achievement. I didn't start the business. Did I answer your question?
Yes, surely answer.
Did you get some sort of clarity? I'm talking from my experience.
Yeah, a little bit I got, because I don't know anything about business. So this is a new kind of information from you.
This is how you learn business. There is no any sort of age limit when it comes to business. Today, if you are doing what I'm doing right now, the way that I'm teaching, you can make crores in a month. Crores in a month. If you are doing the thing that I'm doing, online training, online teaching, and coaching and so forth, you can make more than 1 crore Indian rupee per month. And I know many people who are making more than 1 crore Indian rupee per month. Not in a year, okay? I'm talking about in a month.
Wow.
That's a strong platform that you are in, where people need education and training. And if you know exactly how to train, how to interact with people, if you got all the tools with you, you can start with just one laptop and one ring light and one camera and one mic. The total investment would be around about, say, 50,000 or 75,000 maximum. And if you got a very good content that people like to, then you can start your own channel, you can start your own academy, and you can start teaching. I'm not talking about blogging, okay? I'm not talking about blogging or vlogging where you have your home tour. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about education. There are two things that you have to remember. One is called education, other one is called the entertainment. I'm not talking about entertainment. I'm talking about education, whereby you mix entertainment and education. It's called the edutainment. Edutainment is a mixture of education and entertainment. You mix both together, I'll tell you, you can make a lot of money. But I'm not here promoting money making. That's what I do. That's what you can also do. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure seeing all of you on board. And if you're really interested to come and follow, then you can come and join me again next Sunday at 9:30 Indian Standard Time. Meanwhile, if you can help me, if you can help this family and this tribe, please introduce your friends and your family members to this particular program, which is a 52-week program. Nobody in the world, I can guarantee you, nobody in the world will give you such a high quality program for such a low price. You're not talking about cheap program, we're talking about affordable amount, and the product is of high end or high scale product. So that's one thing that you can do for me. Thank you very much. Take care of yourself. I'll be creating a video out of this and I'll be posting that every day. And by now, I think I've created 5 or 6 videos with this interaction. That's how you leverage your time and your money. That's called business. Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei. Thank you so much.
Thank you.